go 1-1. All right, folks. Sorry about all that conflict and that issue and that trouble. On my end, it kept saying processing, loading, and I wasn't live yet. But on Twitter and YouTube, I was live, and has all messed up. But that's how kind of this night's going, ain't it? Kind of like the Panthers offense. We was bumbling and bumbling, stumbling, but in the end, we made it a real game. What you say, D Money? How you doing today, sir?
Hey man, I'm still doing wonderful processing this game that we just witnessed. Still happy that we fought to the end even if it was for naught. Um I think when I label this game, this is a game that we shot ourselves in the foot. We gave it to them. Even though they did do some things okay offensively, when the defense put their head down, it wasn't really that good of a game for Tampa Bay. And we left some meat on the bone. And now we just gotta hope that them dirty birds can finish the work so that maybe we can sniff the playoffs.
That's a fact. Jake, my friend, how you doing today, sir?
I mean, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right. I mean,
Right,
I'm like D Money. I'm still kind of processing, and also I'm kind of shell shocked, so to speak. But
right.
we knew going into this year that we still had a lot of question marks across this team, whether
Absolutely.
it was offense and defense. And I'm actually really proud of this defense. This defense really surprised me this year.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's the one positive I could take out of this game, would be how well our defense kept us in this game the whole entire time. So I am proud. I'm proud of this team as a whole.
right.
And I know it's not really sunshines and rainbows, so to speak, today, but I'm still proud of this team, man. As a season, we still have a lot to build onto going forward,
Hmm.
and we do have a positive future, so to speak, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, you know, uh, the defense played their heart out. They played relatively good. Not perfect, of course, but games like the game, and we're in year two of a rebuild. You know, emotions run high in these games, and the referees truly didn't. They just hurt us. They didn't help us. They didn't make the game fair. The referees really truly were just in the way. That they really made the game worse. Then I'll just say this: the NFL needs to do something. All the officials have done is made the NFL game a joke and worse. That's just the truth of it. Ridiculed in all center of sports. This game was going to go down history as a national embarrassment for the NFL because there were by far more embarrassing things in this game that wasn't called and was called than should have went on, and that's for the Tampa Bay and the Panthers both.
I can say that some of those calls didn't do us any favors or whatever. But just like in any fashion, when we take a loss, what normally has happened, we've turned the ball over. And I already knew it was going to be hard enough to go into Tampa Bay. Then we dealt with a mini hurricane in the first half, you might as well say. And then to turn over the ball, I mean, we was in a bad spot. And who wins the turnover battle normally wins the game, especially when it's a big game. And well, they won the turnover battle. Fitzgerald, my God, I do wish he would have made that kick, but coming in with the weather conditions and from what had just happened and so forth, I can't really put too much weight on it. I
Hmm.
still just have to reiterate, like Jake said, you said that this defense has, and I'll say the last 6 weeks, maybe even longer than that, has shown that they are not to be played with. And Tampa Bay, when they tried to take their foot off and get conservative and just thought they was just gonna run us out,
Right.
that defense showed that hey, this isn't last year where you're gonna sit there and just run that ball and kill the clock. You're still gonna have to play football against us. So there's so much to be proud. If our season is over tomorrow, I am extremely proud of this organization,
Right.
this
Right.
team, players. But I am praying that the doors will still be open for us and that we can come out and do something that people didn't expect. Like they didn't expect us to be in this position. I would
Hmm.
like to be able to go into the playoffs and maybe shock a couple of people. But as of today, there's no way that I could open my mouth and say that I'm not proud of the Carolina Panthers. And the one thing that I can say is I've done some light reflecting this week leading into this game. And the one thing that I can say is this team, regardless how you feel about offense, the offensive side of the ball, or what your early feelings of the defense was in the early part of the year, they have gelled into a football team. And not just a football team, but a good football team. So if this was our last game, shout out to Dave Canales, Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, the whole Carolina Panthers organization. And if we get to live another week, hey, we can't take it for granted.
That's right. Uh, Jake. Um. Well, hang on just a minute. Let's just real quick go to uh the press conference and hear what Dave has to say.
First of all, just say congratulations to the Bucks. They played phenomenally on defense today. Offensively, they made some points. They capitalized on some of our turnovers, and they had those early scores, and our defense kind of settled in and made them settle for field goals, which puts us right back into the game at the end there. Um, but I'm proud of our group. I'm proud of the way we battle, the way we played all the way to the end. Just believing if we got time and downs, we got a chance in this thing. And the way the guys came together and fought together, I was really proud of that part. And now, it's in the hands of another game, and that's not what we were hoping for. But there's still hope. They're still alive, and the locker room certainly is sick about a missed opportunity. But I can't take anything away from the Bucks and the way they played today. I did. I don't really want to get into that because we just didn't play well enough, offensively speaking. We didn't get our run game
Yeah, that's a
going.
good answer. Yeah.
A bad day on third down, which doesn't give us an opportunity to extend the drives and really have a balanced offense the way that we can play. Some missed opportunities out there. So it really just has to be on us and about the execution and all of us making sure we're in the right place at the right time. I mean, certainly is a factor, but at the same time, there's a whole game that we got to consider, and we didn't get enough done, and that's what we got to look at ourselves, and the things that we missed, and I'm sure there's going to be some opportunities, when we watch the film that we're going to wish we'd have had.
Well, D Money, what do you think about that answer right there? I like that answer myself. I think
I,
it's a smart answer. I mean,
well, outside of it being the smart answer, it was the right answer.
right,
Because when you look at it, we didn't do enough, especially the first half.
right,
The first half, we were kind of just walking in place. The
absolutely,
second half, we really took the initiative to really try to force the issue.
right,
And I'm starting to see that with us, when we don't really try to force the issue, where we become stagnant and it's stale. I think that if we do have more, get the chance to play, we have to start trying to treat our first halves like the second half. And if
absolutely.
not, we got to go into next year with that mentality. And I have nothing but confidence in on that end of it
Hmm.
because of all the things that we had screwed up last year
Right,
that we improved this year. I have this feeling deep down in my gut or whatever that if we have a chance to continue to play football, we're going to see a difference. Offense, maybe not. We might not see just dramatic numbers, but more impact plays in the first half itself.
right, right, exactly. Jake, what do you think about that comment?
I mean, he held himself accountable too. I mean, he
Yeah,
he's a part
exactly.
of the offense, and I mean, I really do like that answer. I mean, he didn't
Yeah,
try
I
to
do too.
shy away from the question or anything like that. But I think us going forward, whether we make it to the playoffs or not, we have to get our run game going, man. We just
Right.
like not 19 yards and look, our Carolina Panthers as a franchise, we have just been known. Our bread and butter is running that football, running that rock, man, so to
Right.
speak. And
Right.
if it means that we have to add more offensive linemen out there, so to speak, 7-man front, add
Mhm.
offensive linemen, we got to get this run game going. We just got to. I
Absolutely.
think our offense runs a lot better when we get this run game going.
Absolutely. We've got to figure out why we can't run and what's going on. Is it the running backs? Today on Twitter, I blamed the running back. I said if Rico can't do no better than this, he best not get resigned. But it's emotional, and that's what you do sometimes as a fan. I also blame the officials a lot. I blame Bryce Young some. I blamed everybody in a game like today. I'm apt to blame everybody, and yeah, yes, and I'll say this, and I said it in the group and upset some folks, and I'll say it here, and I'll put myself up on blast, and I'll say it straight out. If you are an NFL Carolina Panther fan, and the only person you blame for this season or these losses is Bryce Young, and you don't blame nobody else, yes, you a dumb son of a bitch, and I'll call you out on that. And if you offended, I'm sorry, but no, I probably ain't sorry either. If I was sorry, I wouldn't. Nonetheless, the problem on this team is not one person. Now, could you replace Bryce Young with a better quarterback and play a little bit better? Yeah, you probably could. But could you replace um, one of our running backs with Christian McCaffrey and play better? You probably could. Could you replace um,
A
You
better
know,
play caller.
yeah. Could you replace a better play caller? Could you put Andy Reid as our head coach and play caller instead of Dave Canales? Yeah, that probably help us a lot too. There's a lot of things you could do. Smart, good, bad, indifferent. Are they going to do it? Probably not. Okay, but nonetheless, I prefer to say it's not one individual problem. Um, yes, yes, and a lot of people go into a rant on emotions run high during games. That happens. That happens to me. It happens to a lot of folks. So that just happens. You get emotional, you know, um, and at the spur of the moment, you get tied up into one play, and it's all that one play's fault. The interception Bryce threw, I personally don't believe that was on Bryce as much as it was on T Mac being a little late to turn around there. But at the same time, Jake, rethinking that, Bryce Bryce has to make sure T Mac's there to turn around. But if he does that, T Mac may not catch it, or it may get happen exactly what had happened. So that's a timing route, something that we should know. But hey, Tampa Bay, we've done that all year. Tampa Bay's seen that on film a whole lot. They know we was going to do it. That's just black and white. They know we were going to do it. So they jumped the route and they got that. That happens. So on the fumble, or no, it was the failed flea flicker, wasn't it? Um,
Yeah, it was.
I I don't think I I'm not certain what happened there. I don't know if Bryce didn't realize the flea flicker. Either way, when Rico found himself caught, he should have just held on to the ball, went down. He just held on to the ball, went down, and take what happens. Tried to toss it back to Bryce. If Bryce would have been there to catch that, he would have got creamed, and we would have lost more yards. It wouldn't have mattered a whole lot. So Rico should have held on to the ball, went down, and done that. That's what I think. What do you think?
Nah, I agree, and I look on that play. I still say that Rico should have fell down, but the whole well Bryce should have dove on or try to go for it. I'm not going to say it was all Rico. I mean, collectively, it wasn't even just Bryce Young right there next to the football either. There was another Panther player there. I can't remember what number it was, but there was two guys that had opportunity to dive on that football, and it didn't that bounce didn't go our way. I mean, it was
Right.
just a horrible play, really really horrible execution, and
Yes.
I mean
Yes.
it's I think that was our main problem today on offense is that we had a lot of our own mistakes. Like we shot
Right.
ourselves in the
Right.
foot, so to speak.
Absolutely. And week 17, fighting for the division. Uh, like you and D Money stated, we are in a situation I truly didn't expect ourselves to be. Before the season, I told everybody, I said, listen, if the Panthers were just competitive at the end of the season and were in the running for a playoff spot, I would be happy. So I can't say that I'm not happy because I said I would be, and I am. I am very happy that we're in this situation. So the, I still think it's going through the back door instead of the front door. You know, you go to your girlfriend's house, and maybe even married, and you go to your girlfriend's house, and instead of going to the front door and being proud that you're dating that woman, you say, uh, let's get me going to the back door and sneak in so nobody don't know I'm there. That's exactly what this seems like to me. And my wife over here giving me the evil look, so that might not have been the best example I could ever use in my life, but I did it. So uh, let me click on this press conference while I take my monthly or my daily husband beating.
Yeah. An aggressive call. Knew they were going to play us in single high right there, and we just, Rico slipped on the exchange, and we took a shot right there. I like the call. I like the opportunity that it presented us right there in the red zone to take advantage of it, and we didn't get that done. Well, he just slipped. That's all. Well, I don't want to get into that. We got another game potentially. Absolutely. It's just an aggressive call that I had the right look on. Bucks played us really well. We didn't block them good enough. They disrupted us up front. They fit their gaps and made sure we were getting ones, twos, and threes, and just really
Yeah, I agree. We didn't block
stopped our
them
run
well.
game. And so we had to do some other things and
Need
try
to
to make some
figure out
yards.
about that running game.
Yeah, weather was certainly a factor, but it was weather for the Bucks too, and they found a way to execute, and we didn't. Oh, I mean, shoot, I think we're all going to be on the seat of our on the edge of our seats tomorrow, watching that game. Hoping for the outcome. Hoping for the Falcons to pull through, but at the same time, like, at least we have that hope to look at. But we have to look at ourselves, and we have to make sure that in these championship moments that we play our best. Guy made a jump on the ball. This game? Oh, not as a team, no. We'll all be watching from home. Yeah. Missed opportunities, absolutely. These are the championship moments that we live for, that we prepare for, that we talk about, and to not be able to get that done, to not be able to play our best football in these moments, those certainly that's what we're all disappointed about, the whole group together, and we have to find a way to be able to play in these types of games. And I'm really excited about our group. I'm really excited about the different pieces that we're getting going, and I told the group, it's like we don't ever have to feel this way again. We can build from this. We have to take the next steps and make sure that we show up with a championship mindset.
They've mentioned on the broadcast that several guys went to longer spikes and there was some gloves that you were. How big a factor were the conditions?
Yeah, I mean, the turf was what it was, and we could tell that pregame, and guys felt comfortable with certain footwear, and we had a couple of slips, and guys wanted to go to a longer. I mean, they had long enough cleats to begin with, but they wanted to go to a longer, type of cleat to have that foot in the ground, and so any edge you can get, edge you can find. I mean, it's worth trying, especially in this game. Just the pride that I have for this group, what we've built, and putting ourselves in this position to play good football down the stretch. And I left them with that, and also just, hey, you never know what could happen, guys. We have to be mentally ready, mentally prepared for whatever happens tomorrow. What's that? I mean, there's hands extended. I was not watching T-Mac on the play, so I was kind of watching, the entire secondary and kind of seeing where the ball was going to go. He certainly had an opportunity. Got to just go with what they called live, and I'm sure I'll have a chance to look at it and see what it is.
First was visibly upset. We saw in the telecast talking to the officials about that call. I know that you have head coaching and play calling duties. In that instance, is there somebody on the sideline who kind of talks to the ref and advocates for the team?
I spoke with them. They're not going to overturn that call live, but I spoke with them right after it happened. I just wanted to know, like, what did you see and what was the call? So
Was that reference to the OPI or the lateral pass they did a little earlier?
it was the OPI that I was just talking to them to.
Did they talk to you about the other play that where there was kind of like an air? It seemed to be an air whistle and Rico, stopped the play. They didn't execute.
No, I didn't talk to them about that.
How do you feel about Bryce's level of execution?
I felt like he was competitive and gave our guys some chances. And early on, it was wet. He lasered some balls in there. Thought a couple of third downs that we could have, converted early in the game. I think would have helped us just continue our rhythm offensively.
Dave, the winner of this division is going to have a losing record. Your reaction to people who might be critical of that and say this division should host a playoff game?
It's a grimy, gritty division, and between our team, between the Falcons and the Bucks, we've had our share of wins against top opponents around this league, and we all play a similar style of football, and the pride of it is on just physicality and playing really tough, and that's where this division is headed. I'm proud to be a part of it, and whatever the record ends up at the end, I know that for whoever gets to get into this postseason, they're going to bring a physical brand of football, and I think that travels well. Running the football and defense really travels well. We weren't able to get the running part done today, but I'm proud to be a part of this division, and I know going forward in the future, this is something that is exciting, but also just seeing the different teams that are around, the challenges that are presented by finding out who gets to win this division and who's going to compete for it.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, thank you.
That was probably one of his better pressers.
Well, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
agree.
Yeah,
Well, not only that, you can see he was emotional. He was
yeah,
definitely emotional.
exactly. And you know what? Doing some figuring. Not pointing any fingers tonight because I don't want to, but and we may need to do a more in depth conversation. But y'all know Austin Corbett returned off. He was out the first. He got hurt in week 2, and during week 2, of course, we lost the first 2 games. Um, and then Cade Mays started in week 3. Austin Corbett was out and actually came back for the Green Bay game. So uh, he came back for the as the guard for the Green Bay guard. And he came back at center because K Mays was hurt, and Chandler Savala and Jake Cruhan were at guard. But that's when we started the win one, lose one, win one. But also, that's when the last big game Rico had in running was during the Green Bay. We rushed for 100. He rushed for 130 yards. Ever since then, he just barely breaking 59 total yards. Um,
That's why I wanted
I,
Hunt. I was hoping Hunt was going to be back.
right,
I
right. It
was
may
disappointed.
right D money, and that's what I'm getting to. It may simply be Austin Corbett is a better pass blocker than a run blocker at this stage in his career. Uh, Not saying he's a bad guy. He's obviously he's our um um uh, get the award. Uh, anyway,
Walter Payton Man of the
Walton
Year.
Paper Man of the Year award,
Yeah.
and he's a great guy. No questions about that. But at this stage in his career, he may be a better backup who just ain't got that push anymore in the run game. So that may be our issue in the running game in itself. Uh, but all that being said, um, you know, several passes were dropped. It's I said it during when we were in our group together chatting that I personally think that they need to look at some staffing change for wide receivers, coach. But that's a question for later on. We've got a big off season coming up, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about all that. So, um,
And our
I'm
season might not be over with yet.
you're absolutely right. If the
And
Falcons win tomorrow, we still have the division. But like I said, that'd be going through the back door.
Well, I'm gonna
So
say this, and people can get mad all they want about this. I'm sorry. I I'm not gonna be an Atlanta Falcon fan no more, but I am gonna be hopeful they win tomorrow. I'm
right,
sorry, but I'm not going to root for us not to make the playoffs. I want us to make the playoffs. We had fans on X a year back that was hoping that we was going to lose more games in order for us to have a better draft pick.
right,
I'm not going to sit here and say I hope we don't make the playoffs to get a better draft pick. I'm not going to be that way. I hope that we make the playoffs because
right,
I want to see us keep playing. I want to see us keep building. And I mean, I just want to see us back in the playoffs. I don't care how
right,
we get there, man. I just
right.
want to be in there.
Oh, I
And
feel the same way. Also, you got to look at it like this: once you're in, anything can happen. As Eli Manning and the Giants,
that's a fact.
as doggone I think the Tampa Bay squad that had Trent Dilfer all those years ago.
Hmm.
It's just about getting there. Once you get in, who
Yeah,
knows? You might have a hot 3 to 4 weeks.
right,
And,
absolutely. And I say I don't really want to go in the back door, but I'm willing to go. Y'all, if we do get if the Falcons win tomorrow and we got the division, you're not going to hear Panther Pickle complain about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
not going to go on go rants and we really don't deserve it. We shouldn't have been in there. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna
No,
And
smile, say, "Okay, we're in. Let's go," and move on.
and I'd
Uh,
argue too. Like they say that some are saying that the Panthers don't deserve to make the playoffs. Well, what makes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers more deserving than us when
yeah,
they have to rely on a team as well?
absolutely.
I call bullshit on that.
Ab-
no. The thing is when did we get to the point of saying what's to deserve? If the record is enough for you to get in and tiebreakers and all that,
right,
then yes, you deserve to be there. It might not be like how people want you to be there, but it's not. I would not let them feel like they should feel diminished because the Falcons had to win a game against the Saints.
right,
I
and
I, I just don't.
right, and I respect that. I understand that. If they get in there because that's the way the rules are, that's the way the rules are. If you don't like
Right.
the way the rules are, you ought to make sure they change the rules. If for an example, if you think nobody should ever mow grass on Sunday, then go to your city council, pass a law that anybody who grows mows grass on Sunday gets thrown in jail for overnight. All right, then that maybe you probably won't have nobody mow their grass on Sunday, but the rules are the rules, and due to tiebreakers, we get now one easy way to do this. There's no way a way to do this. There's absolutely no easy way to do this. There's always going to be tiebreakers in the sport that we love. It just is. So, you know, the rules are the rules. The tiebreakers are the tiebreakers. Listen, I if I can't cheer for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not going to do that. I just can't do it. They're division rivals. I
I
just
get
can't
that.
do it. But
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not going to cheer. I'm not going to be. I'll watch it just like I watch Red Zone, and I'll be happy with if we make it in, and I'll be happy if we don't either because I'm still happy with the depth and the extent on this machine on this
I agree.
team. We are still in year two of a rebuild, correct? So
We are
so we have a lot of growing to do. We need to add some receivers. We need to add some offensive line. We need to add some defensive line,
linebacker.
and some linebackers. And honestly, I'll say this, and I've said it kind of privately. Some of these players, what we have, and I love them, but if they can't figure out why they're hurt all the time, they might need to go get hurt all the time for somebody else.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not into the I'm just tired of the injury bug. I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse, just like I'm not going to use the field turf as an excuse. Dave Canales didn't. Tampa Bay fought just like we did running. There's some folks on Twitter screaming we didn't run the football good because the field was awful. No, Tampa run it pretty good on the same field, so that excuse not going to fly. So you know, but
yep, they had to play through the same
right,
conditions as we are. I mean,
eh,
and we not only that, the bank is in Charlotte, and we're used to the rain ourselves. So I don't. It's not like we're a team that's in a dome that's never seen rain before.
absolutely
Well, it's not
practice.
even that, Jay. if you played Pee Wee up that level, right?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Knows how many games they played in inclement weather. Like, and especially depending on what region you live in. Some of these guys knew they was gonna have two snow games in their middle school career. So I mean, and don't get me wrong, when you were a kid, as soon as when you was running outside to play with the football and it start raining, you start to feel all good because you thinking you one of them NFL cats out there
Yeah.
in the rain, playing in the rain. So really, they should have had quite a bit of fun. Besides the fact that some of the guys just didn't have the proper length cleats to start the game.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
And then
and
you
Absolutely.
I'm
brought
gonna
that
say,
up that you was
oh,
hoping
go
they
ahead.
had the rain cleats.
Oh yeah, because it makes a difference, man. And
Right.
the main reason why I wanted them to have them wasn't all about the footing. I was scared about that slipping that causes like slight injuries just because your foot might go one way, then you're going, them type of situations. So I was more like, let's get that good grip so we don't have like those issues. But before I let it go, I want to say this, and I'll take any flack for what anybody wants to take for it. The fight that was inside Bryce Young in that second half, especially that fourth quarter. How he stood up when they talked about the backward pass that went out of bounds that didn't go out of bounds. How he was berating the referee. How he was going at him leading like, "Hey, this is a BS call." I saw a lot of leadership, even towards the end when everybody thought like we was gonna lose by more than two at the time. He made some really good throws. I don't want to hear the narrative anymore that he just lacks arm talent because he did make some throws today, and I'm not gonna make excuses for him. But Nalo dropped a couple on him. Excel dropped a couple on him. He has, you know, as a team, we collectively, let each other down. Yeah, that's kind of how it felt when it hit 0-0. Like maybe somebody had got angle slammed or whatever. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. But on the day, I'm
Yeah.
just going to say this. Bryce Young showed me more in defeat in such
Absolutely.
a big game than he has the 400-yard game or the blowout against the Falcons or any other bright spot he's had this year. To see him going at that referee, seeing him on the sideline telling them guys, like, look, as long as there's time on this clock, we got a chance or whatever. I was really impressed with just the other stuff with Bryce Young. Outside of the fact that if you throw that pick away, he really had some really good throws. And I can't say, mind you, I'm not a Price supporter or a hater like that, like,
Hmm.
well, lover or hater. But I will say this, I haven't seen too many games where I've seen consecutive throws from Bryce that were really good. Like, throws. And he did. Like even that throw that he made that they tried to call that BSOPI on Tech,
Oh, that was a
that
beautiful
ball was
pass.
that was a beautiful pass. Very
It
beautiful.
was.
And I mean it's those things that like when people are now criticizing and so forth, I can't do nothing but chuckle because your first round quarterback, let's be quite honest, regardless of the rate you like it, has improved each year he's came back for the next campaign. He has improved. And next year he might have a whole nother confidence that people start to get those numbers that they want. My thing is I didn't care about the numbers. I just wanted the W.
A-
Absolutely.
And I also want to add on that too. Love him, hate him, however you want to feel about Bryce Young. He's not going nowhere next year.
Right.
He's going to be on this football
He's
team.
gonna be here.
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. Tampa Bay fans get irate and they want Todd Bowles fired. Guess what? If the Panthers lose, or if the Falcons lose to the Saints tomorrow, and the Bucks win the division, Todd Bowles ain't going nowhere. If the Panthers win the division and go into the playoffs, it's going to be real hard to make changes to your. Uh, it's going to be real hard to cut Bryce Young or fire Dave Canales. So, you know, it is what it is. We can complain, bitch, and whine. They're going to be here next year. Congratulations to T Mac for breaking Calvin Benjamin's record today. Uh, because or uh, Teterona McMillan, I put up the wrong screen. Uh, uh, Teterona McMillan has 1,014 yards, and if we go into the playoffs, that'll raise a little bit. So, uh, I myself personally, I would make him offensive rookie of the year, but I am very biased. So, yeah,
I think him breaking that record is going to give it to him. I really do.
right,
I think even if he didn't break it, he had a very very good chance of getting it anyways.
right.
I'm
That's the
happy.
belief. That's the
Yeah.
belief I was at. Yeah.
I'm happy for him. I know it's a loss, and I know there's people that wasn't. They didn't care about it. I care personally. I care about it. I'm happy for that man as an individual. I mean, he still has so much potential. I mean, this is not even his best. I mean, this is his rookie year. He has so much more to develop, add to his game. His future is bright. It really is.
I'm muted. Nick Scorton played a hell of a game yesterday. Today, he really did. A lot of this, Tedder, not Tedder, Princely got his sack today. Our rookie edges are going to be phenomenal. Okay, they really are. Now, if we can go out and get a veteran edge, I would like that, and maybe Prince Skilly can learn a little bit more before he gets his opportunity to start. But I don't know that I would go out and sign a big veteran, a long term deal, and hurt the chances of Princely getting more active playing time. But maybe I'm biased, and that's, I mean, so. But let's look at the stats. What do y'all think? Um,
I don't want to look at the Russian stats. That's the very
Yeah,
first thing
these
I
niggas
yeah,
noticed.
stats,
yeah, yeah.
these
What,
stats
right,
need to
and
talk about is the lack of running mileage.
yeah, yeah, and listen, um, just to be honest again, and we don't want to look at it, but the Panthers have to understand, regardless of whether we go to the playoffs or not, we have a problem in the running game. Now, I said it in a bout of rage, I guess, earlier today on Twitter. Yeah, I'll go to my timeline. You'll find it. I don't hide from it. If I wanted to hide from it, I'd delete it later, and I'm not going to. So, but you really have a question. Do you give Rico a large contract if the most important game of the year he can only get 1.4 yards average, 7 carries, 10 yards? We only tried, and this is 2 rushes by Bryce 14 times for the whole game. That's not really on them. That's a lot to do with the play calling. But at the same time, when you do hand them the ball, they're getting 2 yards, maybe 1.5 yards, maybe minus a yard. Uh, that's more to do with the offensive line not getting a push. You know, um, we got to figure out what the problem is with that. Whether it's just missing Hunt, whether it's uh, whether it's needing to get a better center, and I'm a Tennessee fan. You know, I love my Cade Mays, but we got to figure out what the problem is with that and get it fixed. Whether it involves hiring different coaches to help Canales or a coordinator or whatever it is, we got to figure that out. Um, Receiving wide though, but I mean Price himself, Tedrona McMillan had 4 catches for 85 yards. There's a it won't say that here, but I know there's a few he dropped. Coker had 6 catches. I didn't realize he had that many catches. He had 6 catches for 47 yards and a TD.
I,
Tommy Trim, Tommy
I,
Trimble. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just gonna say it looks. I mean, he had 4 catches, Teddy McMillan, but he got targeted 6 times, so he probably dropped 2 or at least one.
Right. And Tommy had a really good day today. He had some key catches today. Tommy's a tight end that ain't the best in the world, but he's there when you need him, and like we are. So yeah, and Bryson Tremaine had a couple catches. Xavier Leggett had a couple horrible drops, but then came back and had a good catch. But I think he left injured. Did he leave the game or was it just that series?
What player? Pickle? Say
I
it again.
think it was just
Oh,
that last series.
Xavier Leggett.
No, I think to my understanding, I think he kept playing. I think he played through it. I think it was
Okay.
just like
Okay.
a little stinger because
Right.
it looked worse when he was
Right.
jogging off the field than
Mhm.
it actually was when I saw him on the
Right.
sideline.
And Jimmy Horn Jr. Boy, he had a catch. If just if things were just a slightly different, he'd have went to the house on that catch.
Yeah, that was just. I think that was one play that I kind of wish Bryce would have threw it to him just like very like 1 second earlier because
Right.
I think he would have tiptoed and he would just ran down the sideline and probably took it to the
Right.
house maybe.
Exactly. Exactly. But but defense had a pretty good day today. They had him a day. Uh, Derek Brown had 13 total tackles. Nick Scott had 9. Uh, Roseboom had 8. I was talking to G Baby earlier this week, and I told him that I would resign Roseboom, and I would. Roseboom's he he may not be an every down player, or he may not be an every down linebacker, but by George, he's a good linebacker to have on your roster just in case, is he not?
I mean, he'll tackle anything. I mean,
Right,
that's never been the issue for me. It's just
right,
him in coverage. But I mean, he was signed. He was when he got signed here. He wasn't signed to be a starter. He got
right.
put in the starting role because of injuries.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't mind signing him, re-signing him
right.
because he probably ain't gonna cost much either.
Right. Well,
Well, the thing was is I was high on him when he came, just because I
right,
had saw the stat line from when he had left the Rams.
right,
Like it's hard for me to be upset about anybody that comes after having 100 plus tackles the season before.
right,
So I was rooting for him. I think me not really thinking about like his coverage side of it, he kind of blindsided me because I really
right,
wasn't thinking on that end of the spectrum.
right,
But from what I've seen, it's just like what I keep saying about this defense. We saw guys evolve this year. And don't get me wrong, nobody's going to mistake him for being an agile linebacker. But what we did see was is he started being in the right place at the right time, just like that interception that he had today. It wasn't more that he was just a great coverage linebacker. He was just at the right spot at the right time. And I noticed guys who tend to fly around the ball and be where the ball is tend to be in the right place at the right time because that's not a skill you can really teach.
right,
You're gonna have those instincts or you're not. And my God, he has it.
right. And Christine Barnes also played a good game today, I thought, and he's a guy. He's a guy like Roseboom. They both play special teams, and they both are veterans. I don't see any reason why neither one of them aren't kept here long term.
The
These.
only thing, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Uh,
no. These are the guys that I think you should keep as your special teamers. Go ahead, D.
Because the only thing with Barnes that was to our disadvantage was that Mayfield saw early on he wasn't getting good footing trying to defend the route against Otten.
Right,
So they picked on him that first drive pretty hard.
right.
But what like I said, the resiliency of this team,
Hmm.
because yeah, Otten made some plays throughout the game, but he did not kill us like it looked like it was about to happen in the first half when they just kept picking on Barnes on those routes.
Hmm.
Eh, I know there's a lot of people, Pickle, that do not like EJ Avero. Okay.
Right,
And I've been down on him at times, and I mean, I can say with good reason. But if you can't give him his flowers for how this defense evolved through the season, then you just don't appreciate, you just hate because he could have easily had us at the same, the guy really don't want to be here to a degree. Well, I want to say it like that, but he wanted out and he stayed and he did the best of his abilities. And like I had said in that episode of the Brotherhood edition with Diesel Skills earlier in the week, one of my things about Evero that I'm really, really starting to warm up to is the better the talent that you put around him, and I guess it's common sense, but the better talent that you put in his side of the ball, the more that his defensive schemes don't seem that bad. So if Evero comes back next year,
Hmm.
I would probably be the first one to try to take his head off if he came back, which we're gonna acquire more talent and
Right.
another pieces. That if our defense looks better on paper this year,
Hmm.
well, next year than this year, just like we were this year to last year, but the defense regresses, oh, I will throw a fit because I have tricked myself into believing the better talent Avero has, the more efficient his system is. And me personally, I don't know what's on their mind. I don't think he'll be here next year, but I will say I'm not going to be surprised because this defense is night and day
Right.
in less than a year. And you can't look past that a lot. When you're talking about one side of the ball,
Hmm.
it's rare that they go from worst ever to being respectable. So there's a lot that Evero should be praised for.
Hmm.
We might not like how some of it's drawn up or how, whatever, but he showed that if you put some guys with a motor, you put some guys that's got a dog in them, you put some guys that know the game of football in that room,
Hmm.
my God, that system can look good. And the last person that I want to give praise to, because I really don't feel that he's gotten his flowers this year, Morrig. I really think
Absolutely.
that Morrig should get a little bit more love. I mean, this guy led us in tackles for loss with 12 from that position. And he really set the tone for us on defense. He got a sack today. He's been doing it all year, coming from different sides. Teams really didn't know how to game plan for him. I think it was one of the best free agent moves we could make in hindsight. I know there was a lot of people that weren't familiar with him, with him playing on the other side of the country before coming here. But I will say this, that guy right there, you've got to love him because he doesn't just play well that impacts him playing well. His play really impacts the guys that surround him. And it's shout out to Mr. Morrig because that effort and dog that he brought this year, I believe from the bottom of my heart was nothing but contagious and it carried over to some of the other guys.
I definitely
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um. Well, y'all don't forget. Um. Like I said, I'm not certain if I'm going to start it this coming week or next, but we'll be doing a positional evaluation. Um. Might do it in 2 week interim. Might do it in 1 week. Who knows? When I get it started. Uh. But depending on how much we talk as I do it. Um. But yeah, I do think the referee screwed us, Michael. But you know, for some of the games, for a good part of the game, we screwed ourselves as well. You know, the referees didn't throw a flag on the offensive lineman because he didn't block good enough. You know, uh, our running game absolutely was the worst it's been all year, and that's not the ref's fault. That's our fault. That's the coaches and players' fault. So we are a run first offense. We are not made to pass the ball and get downfield. Um, if we're going to do that, we need to convert one of our running backs into a wide receiver. So, uh, but it is what it is, guys. And good luck to us tomorrow as we all sit down and watch the Falcons and the Saints. Um, um, great day alive. I'm gonna put this. Go ahead, Jake.
I just want to say real quick, I'm still proud of this team no matter what,
Right.
and I just want to tell everybody real quick: keep pounding always.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Y'all watch this video real quick, y'all. Watch it. Y'all see that? Icky walking next to Bryce. That's messed up. That like Bryce, you can make Bryce two people, and he still wouldn't make enough for Icky.
That looks like two people that knew that they left plays on the field, man. That's what
Yeah,
it looks like.
exactly. And you know what? You know what? I joke a lot, and I am just joking, but you know, I understand now why Bryce don't scream at the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? You make Icky mad, one hit, knock Bryce out for this time next year. But anyway, anyway, I kid because I care. But you're right. You're right. And honestly, they should feel that way because when they feel that way, they get better. If they will walk out, it's like, well, the only reason why we lost this game is because the officials, or we would have won it. That I wouldn't like that as much. I may agree with them to a point, but I still wouldn't like it because not they have themselves have to have to take responsibility. And you're right, Jake. They look like two guys who 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 felt like they should have played or they could have played better, and done something different, and that shows what kind of character they are. I still think that we've got a bright future ahead, and there's no use to look down. So, uh, my player of the game in this loss, uh, my player of the game is going to be um, Tedderone McMillan. He struggled earlier on, but he did fight it back to put up one hell of a game. Uh, that just shows the character he has, and he was well worth the 8 pick that we took him in last year.
I'm gonna say my game ball just has to go to the whole defense because a game of this magnitude on the road, and you hold the opposing team to 16 points at their house, weather or no weather, referees or no referees, you was able to keep that game to where, regardless if it was only a little bit of time, you gave the offense an opportunity. So I give my game ball to the defense.
I'm gonna agree with that, but if I had to pick somebody, I'm gonna go with, and it might be easy to say this man's name because he's one of our best players on the team as a whole. But Derek Brown, I'm talking about a guy who I saw all game long. I think he had like 14 total tackles, some crazy, whatever he had. But a dude that's that big going from one side of the field to the opposite side of the field, 20, 25 yards down the field, and it happened multiple times this game. It seemed like it happened every play. It was all over the place. Uh, but yeah, if I had to give a game ball to somebody, it's gonna be to that man.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
can run with that because I want that game jersey. I don't want it washed. I want to put it in the frame. He got half the paint, the
Oh,
grass.
it does.
Mm, you're right.
Yeah, you ain't even if you wash it, D, you ain't getting them stains out that mug.
Want it that dirty and put it into a frame and just be like, this is Derek Brown. Like, that jersey personifies how that man plays. Like, my golly, man, I tell you.
Right. Well, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Y'all keep pounding. Check out the other podcasters who are making some shows right now and chatting about the Panthers. And uh, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll be doing 3 shows this week, like we always do. My show's Monday, even though I might do it Tuesday. Uh, Still debating about that, but I'll let you know a week ahead. But I'll let you know a week ahead before I move it to Tuesday. And uh, Cole does his show on Thursday, and your show generally comes out on Friday, doesn't it, D Money?
Oh yeah, when we drop a Brotherhood edition, we try to drop it on Friday to lead the fans into something on the weekend. But there can be some spot times you might see something pop up. But
Right.
look for us on Fridays.
All right. Okay. Y'all keep pounding, and Jake will come out with the show sometime when he gets ready. Keep pounding.
Eventually, keep pounding, y'all.
Hey, if you ain't with us now, you ain't welcome to the parade.